Hey friends, I'm going to show you a short instructional video on how to make two-dimensional shapes three-dimensional. I sent you a picture of graph paper. This is graph paper. It has evenly spaced squares on it to help you draw your shapes. And I want you to take a screenshot by hitting the button on the top right, the power button, and the home button at the same time. If you don't hit them at the same time, you might end up with series, so I'm going to try again. That time I got it. I'm going to select it. It takes me to the markup page. If I leave this and come back, I can simply select my picture. On the top right, you'll see an edit. And I'm going to come down here to make my graph paper bigger. I have to use 2 fingers, so I have bigger squares. It'll make it easier. I'm going to pick a color I like. I'm going to pick blue. I pick the stylus on the left. When you see it up here, it shows you how fat you want it. You want the intensity all the way up to the highest. And I like the small line. I pick blue. Okay, I'm ready to go. And I'm going to draw a square using a vertical line. I'm going to go 3 boxes down, and a horizontal line. I'm going to go 3 boxes over, 3 boxes up, and 3 boxes over. To make it into a cube, un cubo, from a square, un cuadrado, I'm going to follow my box over one from the corner. So I'm going to go over one and down one and put a dot. Same thing with the top right corner. I'm going to go over one and down one, dot, over, oh, I can't see it, so I'm going to shrink it down a little bit, move it using 2 fingers, over one, down one, dot, and here's this corner, over one, down one, dot. Then I'm going to connect my 4 dots. And I have 2 squares. Then I'm going to connect the corners using a diagonal line. And now my cuadrado es un cubo. My square is a cube. Next, I'm going to practice a few times. You can do that. I'm going to find another spot and do a rectangle. I'm going to draw a rectangle that goes 3 boxes down and 5 boxes over. Vertical line, 3 boxes up. Horizontal line, 5 over. I'm going to make it into a rectangular prism. I'm going to find the top left corner and go 1 box over, 1 down, dot. 1 box over, 1 down, dot. 1 box over, 1 down, dot. And from this corner, 1 box over, 1 down, dot. And then I'm going to connect my dots. After I've connected my dots using vertical and horizontal lines, I'm going to use a diagonal line, connect my corners, and you can see that I have a rectangular prism. Next, I'm going to do a rhombus. So I'm going to find a spot on my paper, make it a little bit bigger, and to draw a rhombus, I'm going to have to use diagonal lines. That's the language you use for Bridges math. So we're not going to use the word diamond, even though it looks like a diamond. We're going to create a rhombus. I'm going to go on a diagonal line. Starting at one corner, I'm going to go through where the boxes cross on a diagonal line. I went 1 row up. Now I'm going to do a horizontal line. I'm going to go 4 boxes over. I'm going to go on a diagonal line, 2 box rows down, and then I'm going to use another horizontal line. Now, how am I going to make this rhombus look 3D? I'm going to find the corner and go 1 over, 1 down, dot, 1 over, 1 down, dot, 1 over, 1 down, dot, 1 over, 1 down, dot. And I'm going to connect my dots. Horizontal line, diagonal line, horizontal line. Then I'm going to connect my corners. Great. Next, I'm going to make a triangle into a triangular prism. Let's see if I can find a spot on my paper. Maybe I want to leave some room over here to practice. So maybe I'll come all the way over here. Here's a spot, and I'm going to do a triangle. Triangle's a little tricky. It's 2 diagonal lines, and I'm going to make sure I go through all those corners, right through the middle, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 rows down, and 1, 2, 3 rows over. If I'm not sure what that looks like, I can draw a dot. Ready? 1, 2, 3 rows over, 1, 2, 3 rows down. Here's my dot, right? So I'm going to connect it right there. And then I'm going to draw a horizontal line. Now triangles are a little tricky because there's some overlap, so pay attention. I'm going to go 1 row over and 1 row down, and look, my dot is right on the side. 1 row over, 1 row down, dot. From this corner, 1 row over, 1 row down, dot. And then I'm going to connect my dot. I'm going to connect my dots. I don't like that line, so I want to erase it. There's a few different ways I can erase it. One way is to hit this backward arrow. It'll take away the last move I made, right? So let's say I drew it again and I went, whoa, that's really bad. And I don't want to use the back arrow. I can use the eraser. And when I choose the eraser, I'm going to choose the pixel eraser so I can just erase what I want. Choose it, and then, why isn't it? There it goes. I can erase that line. If I put it on the object eraser and I touch this line here, it erases the whole line, okay? So you know you have options. So I'm going to go back to this blue stylus, and I'm going to try again. I'm going to connect the dots, connect the dots. Now what's interesting is this whole line overlaps, so I'm just going to connect the corner to there. And then I can connect this corner, and I have a rectangular prism. Wonderful. I would like you to practice doing each of these shapes 3 times. So if you want to pick a different color so you can show your tries, I can switch to red now. I'm going to make it big. Once you get really good, what's fun? So here I go practicing again. This square is going to be 2 boxes over and 2 boxes down, right? So I'm going to go over 1, down 1, dot, over 1, down 1, dot, over 1, down 1, dot, and over 1, down 1, dot. And I'm going to connect these dots. Then I'm going to connect these corners. Now, if I want my square to look solid and not like it's clear, oh, I forgot one. I have to pick which I want in front. If I want this in front, I'm going to show you. I'm going to do 2 of them just so you can see. I'm going to do 2 that are exactly the same so I can show you how I can choose which square I want to be in front. Now I'm going to go to my eraser, and I'm going to choose the pixel eraser so I have more control over my eraser. On this square, I'm going to choose for this to be in front, and I'm going to erase these lines. So now I can see the clear face of my box. I'm going to erase this back line, and I'm going to erase this black horizontal line. And now you can see that this square is in front. The funny thing is, if I want, I can decide this square's in front by erasing this line, this line, and this line. So same cube, same drawing, but I erased different lines, and now you can see it kind of switches it. This one, I can see this is the front, the side, and the top. This one, I can see the front, the bottom, and the right side, depending on which lines I erase. So please take the time to practice each shape 3 times. If you want to erase lines, that's great. And if you also get, oh, I'm going to go back to my color. Oh, I guess I'm doing red again. Okay. If you get really good, the more you practice, you'll find out that you don't even need to count boxes and draw dots. So this time I'm going to go over and up, and I'm going to do 2 rectangles that look exactly the same without drawing dots. See that? Then I'm going to do it again right here. There's my rectangle. Then I'm going to draw another one without counting boxes over and putting dots. And then I'm going to decide that I want this rectangle to be in the front, so I'm only going to connect 3 sides, and I'm going to get my pixel eraser. I'm going to erase this. And eventually, if you practice enough and you get really good, oh, I forgot to erase that. Now, I'm going to go back because I made a mistake because I erased too much. So I used the back arrow. I'm going to make this bigger because I didn't do a good job with my eraser. When I make it big, it's a lot easier for me to erase specific lines that I want. And then the more you practice, oh, I got to erase that one too. The better you get, guess what? You won't even have to draw 2 boxes. You'll know when you want to draw a rectangular prism. Let's do a box. When you want to draw a square, for example, start with a box when you try and practice this, because the box, the square, el cubo, is the easiest shape. When you get really good, friends, you're going to know that you have to draw your diagonal lines and your top and your side. So see how good you get, and then you'll find that your job will be a lot easier, and you'll be able to create 3-dimensional shapes with much ease the more you practice. Please practice each shape 3 times. All right, friends. Hope you have a great day, and I hope you have fun making your 2-dimensional shapes 3-dimensional. Love you. Bye.